Hello and welcome to a Deep Dive with your Oshi, a talk show where I speak to your Oshi and ask them all kinds of questions so that you can get to know them a little bit better. Welcome in, and I hope that you enjoy this video.
Please tell me he's not gonna come back. Shit, he's gonna come in here.
What are you doing?
Nothing. I was jerking off.
Remember, freedom. Don't give up now.
See, that's what you gotta do. You gotta freak them out. He heard that and he's like, oh, what the fuck? These fucking prisoners of war, man. Like, what the fuck's going on with them? Ow. Oh.
Dispatch, Charlie 8. Just a second.
No.
This driver knows what he's doing. He's giving me a hard time out here.
Copy that, Charlie 8. I've got ground units clearing up and en route.
Why is there so much police? Holy
Get
fuck.
around this guy and form up on a 1075.
Supervisor requests you hold on till he gets there.
Okay, traded paint. Alright.
We gotta get something going quicker. This guy's gone.
Why is there so much police? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god, go, go, go. Ugh. Oh my god, go, 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 please.
Hello, everybody! Hi, Ross!
Hello, how you doing?
I'm so well, how are you?
I am doing great.
Yay! Thank you for coming on the show with me. Thank you, thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem. Honestly, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah! Well, you're here because I consider you to be an Oshi. How does that make you feel?
Well, actually, somebody in my chat actually does consider me an Oshi, and I'm like, no, don't call me an Oshi. I'm not an Oshi. So actually, yeah, it's something I don't really aspire to be, but it's still heartwarming regardless.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't aspire to be an Oshi. You're like, no, don't perceive me, no.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't. I just don't feel like I'm someone to aspire to be, but obviously, if you consider me an Oshi, then I'll still take it regardless.
Yeah, it's so fair. Do you want to really quickly introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you and your content and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so hi everyone, my name is Ross Argyll VT, or just Ross Argyll, or the greatest racer of all time. I'm I'm a Roadrunner racer VTuber. I mainly do car and racing content, but kind of more on the more actiony side. Not really so much sim racing and stuff like that. But I also do FPS games, retro games, looking at maybe doing an RPG here and there and some horror games.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So you are a car VTuber,
Yeah.
and you really like cars. And I know you've told me a few times about your own car. So,
Hmm.
would you want to tell us a little bit about your very cool car?
Oh man, I kind of hate talking about my car because I feel like I'm flexing, but I really don't. So my car is a 2012 Porsche Cayman
Mhm.
987.2 in Guards Red, and it has 265 brake horsepower, and it's a manual, and I've had it for like coming up to 5 years now.
Oh, damn.
And yeah, I've had it almost 5 years now, and it's the best car I've ever had.
I've
And
seen
yeah,
pictures
there
of
is
it. You
there,
take good care of that car. It's gorgeous.
yeah, but yeah, there's quite a reason why I bought the car. It wasn't just like a on the what would you say? Like it wasn't just a in the moment type of thing. There is actually a reason why I bought it, and it's not to flex.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so fair. It's easy for people to be like, oh, they have nice thing, they must be flexing. But sometimes you just like cool things, or you have a reason behind wanting the cool thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I can go into detail if you want about it.
Feel free. Feel free. If you feel like it, go for it.
Okay, so, I can give the long or short version. The long version might be, like, a bit on the serious side, but if you're okay with that, then
Yeah, go
I
for it.
can
As
go
long
for
as
it.
you're comfortable, then go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. So, back in 2018, and kinda 2019 as well, I really wasn't in the best mind space. Like, it was actually quite dark. Like, I had some very, let's just say, not very nice thoughts
Mm-hmm.
going on, and, it sounds so stupid to say now, but it was kind of over a girl that I
Okay.
had, like, a really, really hard crush on. Like,
Mm.
because 'cause I'm a bit of a hopeless romantic person, and so, like, if I get a crush on someone, then it's, like, really intensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I unintentionally hurt this person, and it really, really kicked me down quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
like, thinking like, "Fuck." I'm not allowed to swear, right?
Oh yeah. I swear all the time.
Yeah,
Go for it.
yeah, "Fuck."
Fuck.
So yeah, it really made me feel like shit, and on top of that, because I was, like, in my, let's say, late 20s at this
Mm-hmm.
point, and I kind of thought to myself, it wasn't just that, but it was also around the time where I thought like, oh, I would want to like move out, live by myself,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of the prices are not great. And so I kind of thought to myself like, oh man, like what am I doing? Like is this how life is just gonna be? And so, but I kind of realized in that moment around the end of 2018, the start of 2019, that I needed to kind of, how would you say, like, kind of take a step back and like reevaluate my goals into something more achievable,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I decided, like, at that time as well, I got to drive my dad's car, which at the time was like a Mitsubishi ASX. It was like a manual and it had like a racing chip that made it go even faster. And at the time, that was like the fastest car that I had, which is so silly to say because it's like it's like an SUV. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not crazy or anything, but like
Mm-hmm.
at the time that was compared to like the really shite car that I had at the time, which was a Nissan Note, the actual worst car that I've ever driven in my whole life. Anybody listening to this, do not buy that car. You will hate it. Okay, but, to go from that to this, Mitsubishi was like, "Whoa, this is, like, a huge step up," but, like, I've kind of always been into cars, like, even from like, a young kid, like, playing Need for Speed Most Wanted stuff, but going through, academy or high school, however you wanna say it, and going into my starter years of college, I kind of got out of racing games, I kinda got out of cars, that just something about them wasn't interesting me.
Yeah.
But driving this Mitsubishi, like, and being like, "Okay, let's see what this thing can do."
Yeah.
It, like, really kind of like, "Oh my god, this is actually, like, fun to drive." And it
Yeah.
really, really reignited that spark of like, "Oh my god, I love this." And I started, like, looking at more cars because most cars around that time where I wasn't interested in, it was just kind of in the background, right? And so I started paying attention to more cars that I was like, "Oh, I missed this. Oh, this person has that." Like if I go through a neighborhood, it's like, "Oh, I didn't notice that they had this like, I don't know, like this Audi R8 or something like that." That's
Mm.
cool. But going back on topic, I around 2019 I decided, okay, I need a goal that is achievable, not a
Mm-hmm.
house, not a girlfriend, something like that, or you know what I'm trying to say. But
Yeah.
what I need something to work towards,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and at the time, and kind of throughout my life because of Need for Speed, Most Wanted 2005, I've always had a huge soft spot for the Porsche Cayman in particular, not a 911, which is usually the one that people kind of go for, the flagship model. And so I thought, okay, that's been my dream car for the longest time. let's look up and see how much these things cost. And I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna cost like 50 to 100,000 because it's a Porsche, right? And I
Yeah.
looked up and like, oh, these are way more achievable than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Like are kind of around the 20,000 mark or even cheaper depending on which one you get. And I kind of said to myself right there, like, all right, like let's go for it. I am making this my goal to do this. And in the 3 years that I spent hard saving, and I mean like hard saving for this car, I did not only not only did I kind of reduce my intake of like takeaways
Mm.
and
Yeah.
fast food and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and like food for like lunch and stuff like that, but I also did research as well. I was like, okay, what's like the model that I should go for, the car model that I should go for. And I could have gone for an older one, like around 2005 to 2008, because that's
Mhm.
called what's called the Gen 1. But this particular model of Cayman suffers from a particular engine problem, which I'm not going to go into detail because it gets like really very specific. But let's just say if you're unfortunate to suffer some sort of issue, it could like literally explode your car. Like
Yeah.
the engine could explode. And
Damn.
I thought to myself, I am going to be one of those unlucky bastards
Yeah.
where that would happen.
Yeah.
So I am not taking that chance. But after 2009 to 2013, they Porsche fixed that problem and also updated the styling, the
Mhm.
interior styling, just kind of making it look the best that it can be, in my opinion.
Oh, okay,
And so
okay.
I thought, okay, it costs a bit more money because it doesn't suffer from this engine problem, and it's also got a nicer look and interior and stuff like that. But just for my peace of mind, I had to go for it. And around the end of 2021, around October time, something like that, I found that car, and I was looking for a blue car or a black or dark gray car at the time, but this one is a red car, and not that red's not my favorite color, but it's just not one that I usually go for. But seeing the black accents around it, I'm like, oh, this looks really cool. And I went there, I visited it, I gave it a test drive, or the guy gave me a test drive, and I kind of just they were just like, all right, Ross, like, what do you think? Are you gonna go for it? And it took me like it felt like forever, but it was probably like 3 seconds, and I was just like, yeah, let's just go for it. And so I think it was like a few days later, got the check ready, went back up there and bought it, and I had the absolute worst drive back I have ever had in my whole life.
Oh
This is at
no.
this is at the kind of coming to the end of the year, so it got dark quite quick. It started absolutely pissing down of rain, like I mean
Oh.
torrential rain. This is the first sports car, like proper sports car that I've ever driven. It
Mm.
like I like even coming off like a roundabout because somebody was kind of up my arse, like kind of being like, "Oh, go faster" and stuff like that. It's like, dude, it's raining. But I was just like, I just want to get away from this guy. I put the accelerator down, and the back end like kind of started coming out. It was like, whoa, 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 but it actually snapped back,
Ooh.
and so I saved it. Mid-engine. Thank God it's mid-engine
Mhm.
because it has that. It's very forgiving. But I was just like, nah, get this dude past, right? And so he went past. I'm just like, listen, I am driving at my own pleasure, at my own leisure. I am not ruining this thing as soon as I bought it. But got back, almost hit a deer as well. So that was fun. But got back, was like, okay, keep it there. Next day, we'll see what happens. Next day, it was dry, sunny, and everything like that. It's like, all right, let's give this thing a go, like an actual proper go. And instead of the absolute stress that I was going through driving it back, this time, like I got into the zone and I was like, oh, I understand why so many people, because I watched reviews of like these cars, like
Mhm.
to what to expect and like and all that. And every single one of them always say the same thing. It's like, oh, it's just so sublime to drive. The handling's so good and stuff like that. And watching it as a viewer, you're like, okay, but how does that actually feel in practice? And it's one of those moments where it kind of clicks, like, oh, I understand. But more importantly, I pulled over at some point, and it kind of just dawned on me, like like I did it.
Yeah.
Like I achieved this goal that took years to get to.
Oh.
And it's one of those moments where you kind of just like lie back in the seat and just think, like, I wasn't crying or anything, but it
Yeah.
like it's that moment where it kind of just it dawns on you, like, this is one of the proudest moments of my whole life. Like
Oh,
I
that's so sweet.
yeah, like, and even all these years later, I I still think to myself, like, damn, like, that's my car. Like,
Mm.
I saved that. I bought it, I tax it, I insure it. It's my car, right? And the thing about this car is that I because I bought it because for my own, for my own, I guess, satisfaction. I don't know what else to say, but I didn't really care if people would, like, look at it or, like, point out, freaking out, being like, "Oh my god, look," or like what people would think about it, right? It's like it's a car for me. But it does have that added benefit of, like, when I'm maybe driving around town, that you'll occasionally, in the corner of your eye, just see some people looking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Be like,
especially like
whoa.
especially like kids and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Like, if they
yeah.
see it, they're like, "Mommy, mommy, a Porsche! Look, a Porsche!" And usually the moms are like, "Okay, yeah, yeah, whatever." But then the dad, if they're with their dad, they're pointing like, "Oh yeah, son, look at that. That's so cool."
Yeah.
And
Oh,
and even though, again, I don't really care about it that much, at the end of
it's
the day,
nice.
I have to be honest. I kind of look at that and I'm just kind of like, hell yeah, man.
Yeah, it's super
Uh,
nice. It's such a nice thing to be like, oh man, someone looked at this thing that I worked really hard on and thought it was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, that's the story of how I came across and how I came to get that car. It's
Yeah.
very, very special to me. And I truly actually do think,
Mm.
if the time comes where I have to sell that car to
Oh.
maybe upgrade, I do feel like I might actually cry. Like,
Oh.
I might shed a tear. Like, it's driving away with its new owner, and, like, someone will look across to me, and there's just like one singular tear
Yeah.
rolling down my face, just like, "I'll
Oh.
never forget you, buddy."
Yeah. We've had a good time, Bram. We've had a good time,
Yeah,
you know. Oh.
but that day's not here yet, so
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying my days with it. But there's so much good that has come from that car. Like,
Hmm.
meeting like-minded people, like being part of like a Porsche group.
Yeah.
And right, like I'm like, before I was like a very lonerish person, right? And especially because I had a night job at the time. Uh then I moved over to a day job, and I kind of realized, like, oh, like, I feel so much better during the day, because you're getting all that sunshine, you're not staying inside all day. As much as we like to joke, like, oh, I stay inside, I never touch grass. It's actually good to
To touch
touch
a grass.
grass.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is actually unironically good to touch grass.
Yeah.
But, like, meeting like a group of people who are like-minded like me, who like this brand, who come together because of these brands, and aren't a bunch of snobby arseholes like Porsche owners usually are depicted to be,
Yeah.
right? Like, this group that I'm a part of, like, they're basically like, "Listen, man, you could have, like, the shittest example, the shitest example possible, or like a model that, like, a lot of purists are like, kind of like, stick their nose up, and it's like, "Hey, listen, man, it doesn't matter. If it's a Porsche, you're welcome here."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've been with that group for, again, many years now, and it's
Mm.
just so nice to, like, every month or 2 months or so, to just go out and meet them, and, like, just have a place of belonging, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And,
Yeah, so
and was it your
it's done so much good. Sorry to interrupt
No,
you,
no,
but yeah.
no. You're fine. You're fine. Was it the car and having this love for car and love for cars? Sorry, and this really lovely experience of gaining your own Porsche. Was that a big factor in why you decided to become a road runner VTuber? Like, was it the love for cars?
Kinda like when it comes to the Roadrunner specifically,
Mhm.
it's annoying me because like I've been trying to think back, like, oh, when did the Roadrunner idea kind of come about? And I genuinely can't remember what it was because
Mhm.
like I think most people would think like, oh, it's Looney Tunes, the Roadrunner for Looney Tunes, but it actually wasn't. I think because like I'm a huge fan of dinosaurs. Like I keep up with paleontology all the time, and because of that, I like birds. And
Yeah.
even throughout my life, like I did bird watching and stuff like that, and I like seeing all these different birds. And because, well, dinosaurs and birds are technically related and stuff like that, it's
Mhm.
like if you look at very specific birds, like if you look at them, you kind of look at them like, oh, that's just a dinosaur. Like cassowaries or ostriches or shoebill storks, or even like, the crows outside, seagulls. Like if you really look close enough, you can almost kind of see like, oh, if I imagine it like with proper legs and like teeth and stuff like that, it's like, oh, I can see the pattern. You know what I mean? Of it being a dinosaur.
Mhm.
But when it comes to the Roadrunner specifically, I think it was this one video that I saw one day on Twitter. It was from like some wildlife, like nature account, and it was just this woman who has like a roadrunner as like a pet, and it was just all excited and running about and making all these like kind of sounds. Like,
Ah.
and it was like, oh my God, that's so cute. And it like hopped up on our head, and it was like tapping its like its little feet and stuff like that, and it had like cardboard in its mouth, but it had like this it had this crest on its head, like this because a lot of birds have crests.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, like, okay, it's a roadrunner, it has a crest, and it's one of the fastest birds in the world, but it's not like an ostrich or a cassowary where like those are like big birds, right? And because it has that association with, Looney Tunes Roadrunner of just being like really fast,
Mhm.
when it came to like designing my own VTuber model or design, like I kind of thought like, okay, well, I like birds, I like dinosaurs, I like cars, and both of those things are really fast. So let's can we merge them together? And that's kind of how that came about. But it really wasn't until because I tried to draw my own design, and like I could send you pictures of like what I tried to draw after this, but I just couldn't make it work. And so um eventually, after I kind of started VTubing with a pre-made model, I was in contact with this artist called Juka, or
Mhm.
Juka underscore en, and they did character designs. And I gave them my idea, like the type of this aesthetic that I wanted and stuff like that. And they were like they were just so enthusiastic and friendly, and just like
Yeah.
gave me all these different ideas and stuff like that. And like I saw the initial designs, and I'm like, yes, yes. But the main concern that I had is like the crest on my head. Like I just thought to myself, like when I was drawing it myself, I just thought, oh, that looks stupid. This isn't gonna work. But yet Juka just made it work. Oh, I feel like it just works so well. Like it does have this thing of like you can either look at it and think like, oh, it looks cool or it looks stupid, but that's also kind of maybe the point, because
Yeah.
part of my design was also inspired by Johnny Bravo.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah,
Johnny
and
Bravo!
Fonzie. Like I didn't watch Fonzie, or like I can't remember what show he's part of, but he's like some American icon where like back in the 70s he was kind of like seen as like cool. He had like the leather jacket and stuff like that. But like all of these characters like Johnny Bravo and Fonzie, like especially when it comes to Johnny Bravo, like I'm sure you watched Johnny Bravo as a kid, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like he's the epitome of someone who thinks that they're cool, but like if you watch him, he's actually really not. He just goes along. He's just like, "Hey, baby," that whole kind of shit. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, come on, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Um, but I kind of wanted that aesthetic in my design, where it's like, oh, check out this guy. He thinks he's so kind of, he thinks he's so cool. But I also obviously wanted something to also reflect that, hey, he kind of does know what he's talking about when it comes to like cars and stuff like that. Like I do know quite a bit about cars. So it's like a kind of mix of elements of like he knows what he's talking about, but he's also maybe just a bit overly confident, you know? And compared to a lot of other racing VTubers who usually go for like a kind of like tracksuit design, like a proper like official racer design, I kind of noticed, hmm, there isn't a lot of like racing slash car VTubers that kind of go for the more outlaw like street racer kind of design. And so I thought, oh, that kind of makes me stand out in some way. And so I thought like, all right, with all this combined, I'm very happy with what came out.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. I really love. I've said this quite a few times, but with other people who've been on the show, but I really love when people take something that they really love or are really passionate about and make their VTuber into something like that, because then it shows the passion that they have with like through their character. And I think that's really special, and it makes it
Yeah.
even more fun because it's more engaging. Because if you have a design that you really love, then you're gonna be happy using the design that you really love. So it's super
Yeah,
fun.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure, man.
Yeah. And what about when it comes to streaming? What was it that made you decide I'm gonna start streaming? I'm gonna go to twitch.tv right now and press live.
Okay, so I guess it depends on like how far back you want to go because like I guess when I properly started thinking to myself like, oh, I could start streaming, it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But I've always kind of had a like an issue with thinking, and I'm sure a lot of other people have this idea as well, where it's like, oh, I don't think I'm interesting. I think I'm boring. I think my voice is not nice to listen to.
Yep.
Like I'm Scottish, but I don't
Yep.
think I really sound that Scottish. You know, it's like why would people watch me, right?
Yeah.
But just kind of more and more like there's people I guess you could call them Oshis, but I more call them inspirations more than anything, where I see what they're doing and I'm like, oh, that's like I like what they're doing, and I kind of take it into my mind of like, oh, I'd like to do that. Maybe I could do that if I started streaming. If I started streaming,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um but eventually when after I turned yeah, revealing my age here. Um, After I turned 30, I kind of, I don't know, like there was something in my mind that kind of thought to myself, like I, I don't know, like I've been saying this for a while, like, oh, I want to try and do this thing, and you know with obviously not trying to get like too into what's going on in the world right now, but like people are maybe struggling a little bit, but like I don't know, like it just looks so much fun to do. And at the end of the day, like I have quite a bit of free time. Like I do have a day job, right? Like I work 4 days a week. But afterwards, after I come back from work, it's like, all right, well, what now? So I kind of had this free time. And so again, after I turned 30, I was like, okay, I don't really do much after
Mm-hmm.
I get home from work. I feel like even though I'm not gonna, I cannot foresee this turning into a like a full-time thing, right? Just being honest. And even if I could, I feel like just having a job, like a day job, just kind of adds a bit of security to me, right? But and I just thought like I just want to try something new, right? Because I was part of like the Vocaloid community or the voice synth community for like the longest
Yeah.
time, like back in like between 2011,
Mm-hmm.
something like that, like for the next 10 years up to like 2021, something like that, 2020, 2021. Eventually I have fond memories of that place, but at the end of the day, like there was just something that I was just in my mind, I'm just like I'm just not as interested in this as I was. But I found, VTubers back in 2018 with Kizuna Ai and Sakura Miko and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. And eventually, the rest of Hall Live and stuff like that. And I just felt myself gearing more towards that, watching that, than watching like song covers and stuff like that. But I tried back in the time that I was in that community, I bought Vocaloids. I participated in, turning my voice into a singer and stuff like that. But I'm just not a musician. Like I'm not a singer. Like I do like to sing to myself, but it's like, okay, what pitch is this? And you just do a random pitch, and I'm just like, I have no idea what you just did,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so making content was really tiring. And I'm the type of person where it's like if I feel like I'm not geared towards something, like I kind of have to force myself to do it, it just becomes not fun, right? And but it is kind of where I did find out like editing skills, like video editing and stuff like that. So there is positives that came from that, but at the end of the day, it was something that I just kind of I just grew out of.
Hmm.
And obviously there's still people there that are still part of it, but I'm just like a few things just the content I still like, I still like Vocaloids and stuff like that. Gakupo is the best male Vocaloid out there, but nah, I just kind of had to move on from that and just go straight into VTubing and just watch that. And just over the years, I just felt like, man, these people are just having so much fun.
Yeah.
And like it's annoying because I feel like, oh, I could have started earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could have started earlier, but it wasn't until I hit my 30s that I thought to myself, like, oh, you know what? Just give this a proper shot.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, better late than never, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So
No, I feel like there's so many of us who have been through that as well and been like, damn, I really wish that we could have done more, or I could have done this earlier. Like me, for example, I didn't start for a long time because I was scared, like you, of my voice, and I was told by people in my real life that I would never be a good streamer. So I put it off for a long time
that's
because of my
crazy.
voice. And I one day just went, fuck it. I'm gonna do it, and I'm so glad that I did. And I'm glad that you
Yeah,
did as
I'm glad
well.
that you did as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so nice, honestly. All right, and if you had a person who inspired you, like you're here because you're an Oshi, but who would you say is your Oshi?
Okay, so I have multiple Oshis, but I don't really call them Oshi. I just don't do the whole Oshi thing. Like
Yeah.
obviously, not to ruin the theming of like the show here, but that they're more inspirations
Hmm.
for me, and I do have quite a few. I'd say like maybe 6 or 8 of them, but I'm just gonna name 3 of them. I'd say
Yeah.
the 3 most important ones, just so that we're not here all day. Um, and so the one I feel like this is not in any particular order, but first one is Ikezen, Ikkezen, and she was someone that I knew back in the Vocaloid community. Like I met her
Ah.
through there. But during maybe it was COVID, I think. She became a VTuber herself. And I thought to myself, like, oh, that's so cool. Like somebody that I know personally. Like we weren't like super close friends, but like we supported our each other's endeavors, right?
Yeah, yeah.
During that time. And I watched that and I'm like, oh my God, like somebody that I know personally
Yeah.
is a VTuber. Like
Hmm.
that kind of told me like subconsciously like, hey, if she's doing it, maybe one day like I could do it as well. And I'm so proud of like how far she's come in her VTubing career. So huge shout out to her. The second one, and this is shouting out male VTubers here, Gavis Bedel.
What?
I love Gavis Battle. Gavis
Yeah.
Battle is definitely my favorite male VTuber. Like all of Hollow Stars in general, like go support them. But
Yes.
but Gavis Battle in particular is like not only is his style very
Hmm.
very me, like how he talks and like how he goes about things. But like he talked about during an interview with Vesper, rest in peace, but if you know, you know.
Yeah,
Um
Vespa.
but he one of the questions that he got was about comedy. And his answer was basically like, listen, I'm not a comedian. Like I didn't, you know, watch stand up or like learn stand up, but a lot of it comes down to timing, right? And you know, if you time something correctly, you know, whether intentionally or unintentionally, as long as you time it correctly, it's funny. And the example that he uses is like when he was like playing CS:GO with like a bunch of the boys. Like somebody gifted him a bunch of subs and he was like, "Oh, thank you. This kill's for you." And it literally just gets shot in the head immediately and dies. And everyone starts laughing
Classic.
and he just keeps on looking about just being like, but like I kind of want to kind of do that with my streams as well. Like again, I don't think I'm like funny. Like I'm just gonna be real. I don't think I'm funny. I'm not a comedian and stuff like that. However, one thing I've noticed in myself is that I'm usually unintentionally funny. Like
Mhm.
usually I'll say something maybe um I can't give an example but off the top of
Yeah.
my head, but usually it's just something that happens in the moment. Like maybe I'll like if like maybe if I like accidentally drop a glass or something, I'm like fumbling about, like I'm not intentionally doing that, but like the way that it looks like I'm like juggling or something like that. Like sometimes that looks funny, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
maybe I use maybe I use a very obscure word that maybe a person hasn't heard, where like
Mm.
preposterous or that's a bunch of tomfoolery
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or reprobate, and it's like, whoa, that's I've never heard that word before, but it's like it's so out of nowhere that like I've had my mom laugh a few times because it's like I did not expect you to know that word,
Yeah.
right? But but yeah, Gavis just that whole thing of like just knowing comedic timing, it was important for me to think like, okay, if I you know, like even if I don't think I'm the funniest person, as long as I get the timing correctly, then you know I could make something work. And I've been trying to do this through my streams, and I actually do think it works. Where I'm again, like there's a reason why I say like I'm the greatest racer of all time, and then it's like, oh, I crash into like a wall the next second, right? Where I'm just like, guys, watch this, and it just goes completely wrong.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you kind of almost like know like, I feel like something very wrong is gonna go here. You know, like let's build up the moment. But if it does turn out to be okay, you know, then that's a moment where you could be like, I'm the greatest racer. See, I
Yeah.
knew that would happen. It's like one that comes to my mind is when I was playing Battlefield 1 and you know, I'm like shooting planes and stuff like that. And I shot this plane once, like with one bullet, and it killed everyone inside. And you could see it on my face where I'm like, oh, I mean, I meant to do that. You know, just like, just like, oh yeah, sure, man, you totally meant to do that. Like I love that kind of like subversive humor and stuff like that. But yeah, shout out to Gavis Bell, honestly.
Yeah. I
And
do love Gavus.
congratulates on him for 200K subs
Yeah,
on
yeah.
YouTube. The final one, um, I've it- I'm I haven't known her for very long, but like, and you know, maybe it's not really through her content if I got inspired, but it's like how she did it. Um, s- I'm talking about Briar Borealis.
Okay.
She's a Dutch VTuber who I actually um found out like back in September, October last year. Uh and I found her for YouTube and stuff like that. And I what like looking at her model and stuff like that. Like I thought, "Oh, that's like that's a really good looking model. It's got like green hair and stuff like that. And it's got like pins and stuff like that. But I thought that's a really well made design, you know? And so when I went onto our stream, I don't think I'm the one who said it specifically, but I think somebody said like, "Oh, I really like your model." And she went to say like, "Thank you, but this isn't my model. I got it off of Booth. It's a pre-made model." And that kind of kind of turned a gear in my head where it was like, wait a minute, pre-made models actually look this good?
Yeah.
What? Because maybe it was just me not looking deep enough, but like the pre-made models that I've seen, not trying to shit on anybody in particular, but a lot of them that I've seen just don't really look the greatest. Like maybe the styles are just not for me and stuff like that. But I just thought, nah, like I'm just gonna wait for a customizable model, and that was the plan for the longest time actually to get a pre-made model. Funnily enough, the pre-made model that I was thinking of getting back then, still hasn't come out yet. So if I didn't come across her saying, "Oh no, this is a pre-made model," I would still be waiting. I would still not be streaming, maybe potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but But her using that model again turned a gear in my head where it's like, oh, pre-made models actually look good. You know, like it and it looks great, it moves great, like it's clearly rigged like really well and stuff like that. And people like it. Because I also had the kind of perception where if you have a pre-made model, then people are going to be like, oh, well, it's not your model, you know, or you're cheapening out or like, you know, whatever, right? But you know people clearly like it and like her, you know, for personality and stuff like that. As long as you're
Mm-hmm.
funny, as long as you're a good entertainer and stuff like that, then people will still like you regardless of using a pre-made model
Yeah.
or a customizable model. And
Absolutely.
that was actually the quintessential kind of like straw that broke the camel's back moment where I'm like, I'm gonna go and use a pre-made model instead. And so I
Mm-hmm.
found one, and if you look at my oldest clips, and even I think one or two of my oldest videos, like I'm using a pre-made model, right? And I actually kind of went under a different name as well, but I'm not gonna go into that because I'll be here for another 10 minutes. But anyways, I um I started using that model and you know started if anything else using that to see, hey, do I enjoy VTubing? You know, can I
Yep.
can I work it out and stuff like that? And you know, I actually did gain some of my first followers with that model. Like
Yeah.
some of the first people that I kind of came to recognize even to this day through that model. And
Yep.
so, yeah, absolutely. If you're someone thinking of of starting VTubing, absolutely look at using a pre-made model,
Yeah. We are
right?
in the age of accessibility, you know? Like a lot of people fall into the trap where they think, oh, I need like to spend £10,000 on a customizable like a custom design and like the best rigger ever, and it's like you don't. You
Yeah,
can
no,
go
you don't
spend
have to do this.
you can go spend 100 quid or less on a YCH model or a customizable model or a pre-made model, and all of it works the same because at the end of the day, it's your
Yeah,
personality.
exactly. I mean, look
Mhm.
how handsome I look.
You do have a pretty cool model.
Hell yeah, thanks, man. But like I have told her before, like maybe once or twice, like, oh, you know, you inspired me to you know, start VTubing and stuff. But you know, the answers that I've gotten is like, oh, I don't think I'm really that person to be like an inspiration, which I do feel myself like I'm not somebody that I feel like people should aspire to be. But that's kind of not the point of why you inspired me. It's that you put even just using the model that you
Mhm.
have, you planted the seed to take that step forward for someone.
Yeah,
That someone being me, which for me personally is really hard to do. Because like if usually if I'm set on doing something again using a customizable model like a particular customizable model, then usually I'm really steadfast in keeping to that. But if you present me with something that kind of changes my perspective in some way, then I'll change my mind. And so I definitely attribute Breyer and using that model that she's using during the time of this interview, using that model, but she's getting a an original model really soon. Um, but yeah, I attribute a lot of me starting VTubing to her because again,
Yeah.
I see her as that again straw that broke the camel's back thing,
Hmm.
and so I I really want to give a big personal thanks to Breyer for that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, well, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing those stories about your Oshis with me.
yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
You've been streaming for a little bit now, and you're having a good time, good fun,
yeah.
playing all your games. But would you say that there's a moment where you thought, like, you look back on that moment and think that was your favorite part? Do you have like a favorite memory, should I say, of the last however long you've been streaming?
Oh man, like I feel like I have so many moments. Like, mm, oh my god, I might need I might need some time to think about this.
Yeah.
Um, I think it. I can't remember exactly what moment it was, but I have a few people who come into my like almost like every stream that I do now. And obviously it wasn't like that when you started because I mean, of course, you've just started out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it was the moment when I realized like, oh, these people are they're coming back for me.
Yeah.
Right? Like they could be going off watching someone way more experienced than me, right? Or like, they've got busy lives and it's why I always tell them like, listen man, you are not obligated to be here. Like you could be doing whatever. But no, they keep coming for me. And that kind of hit, I want to say around March. And I feel like I was playing Driver at the time, and it was kind of from that point where like I noticed that like, oh, there are people coming in to watch me fail at this game because it is actually Driver 1 on the
Mhm.
PS1 is a really hard game. But
Yeah.
yet every time I played those, when I had stream playing that game, like I always notice those same people. Am I allowed to say their names or
If you
no?
if you would like to, then go
It's
ahead.
like it's like, "Oh, Tivos, welcome back," or
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Fana Gaming, welcome back." It's like, wow, these people are, like, coming back for me. It's
Hmm.
just such a humbling experience to realize, like, wow, even though again, even if it's just a few people, like, the fact that they're coming in for me just makes it so much like, it feels like I'm actually contributing to something. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
no, absolutely. And when it comes to streaming again, what's your least favorite part about streaming? Like, is there something that when it comes to doing this thing or when this thing happens, you're like, oh, why?
God, there's a lot of stuff I could say like about like offline, like on Twitter. But if we're talking
Yeah.
about like streaming in particular, I guess it's just I almost do this every stream, but it's making sure that the audio is correct.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I I religiously, oh, like not like almost religiously, like at the start of a stream, like I'm just like, sorry guys, I have to check my audio, and so I go to the VOD as it's as the stream's going, and just listen back, being like, okay, is the game low? Is my volume low? Because when I started streaming,
Hmm.
like there was like one particular stream that I had where I was playing Need for Speed Most Wanted, and like you could barely hear me.
Hmm.
And because of course like I just started out, there was nobody there to tell me like, oh, you're just like a little bit low or something like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so after I went back and watched it, because I save all my VODs,
Hmm.
I think it's very important that people go back into their VODs and think, like, oh, is this okay?
Yeah.
Could I have done this a bit better? Et cetera, et cetera. And
Yeah.
I watched that VOD and I was basically pulling my hair out, thinking, just ah, because because if there's one thing, and maybe this is me personally, but I do think a lot of other people do agree with this, where you could have like a really not great setup. Like maybe you don't have the best model, or like maybe you're even if you're like 480p,
Yep.
right? Like you got really low resolution. The thing that in my opinion, drives people away is bad audio.
Yep. Yep.
Because I'm guilty of this, because like like I'll look at a thumbnail of like a VTuber or something. I'm like, oh, they look really cool. Let me check them out. And then their mic is like a free an Xbox 360 mic, and it's like, nope, nope, I'm out of here. Like
Yeah.
it's probably really not fair, not fair to do that, because I'm sure that they're entertaining and I'm
Hmm.
sure that people enjoy them, but it's just something in my brain that's just like, no.
It's a sensory
I
thing. It absolutely
it,
is
it
a sensory
absolutely is.
thing.
And
Hmm.
being on the spectrum, like I'm not super autistic, I have Asperger's, or just ASD,
Hmm. Yeah.
autism spectrum disorder.
Hmm.
It's the type where it's just like, oh, I just need like a little bit more help with
Yeah.
certain things, right?
Yeah.
Like assisted learning, basically. But
Hmm.
honestly, as an adult now, it's like I can fully take care of myself. Like I'm talking to you right now,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I there are certain sounds where, like, if I hear them, it just feels like, like, what do you call it? What's the term? Like nails on a chalkboard,
Yeah. Nails
where
on the chalkboard.
it's
Yeah.
just like, it's like, oh God, like
Hmm.
I wanna, it's, and even if they have a good mic, like if something about their voice, like it just goes into my ear, that I'm just like,
Hmm.
I don't really like that. It's kind of a bit uncomfortable. I'm being very vague about this, but like I just don't want to, you know, like speak out about somebody in particular, because it's like I do like them. There's just this thing that I'm just like, oh, I would watch you live if this thing wasn't happening. Again, I'm being super vague. I'm really sorry, but
No.
like,
No.
I'm just, it's really annoying, because it's like I feel like that there is streamers that I would enjoy and watch, but then that kind of gets in the way. And it's obviously,
Hmm.
it's not their fault. None of that is their
No.
fault. But I just have to be real with myself and just be like,
Mhm.
it is just what it is.
Yeah,
You know.
I'm real with myself as a streamer as well, and knowing that my voice and my volume or jokes and all that stuff, like certain things just aren't for certain people, and that's okay.
Hmm.
I feel like if you're a content creator and you get sad about, oh, this person doesn't want to watch me, it's like you really can't do that, because if you did that, you would be sad all the time because there's
Exactly.
always going to be people who don't like a certain thing or prefer something else, and you just have to accept it, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely audio stuff in particular, that like that's the worst thing. It's so annoying. But
Hmm.
again, now I sometimes have people that tell me like, oh, your volume's a bit low, and I'm like, obviously they can't see it, but I'm like, I'm giving a thumbs up, like, thank you so much for
Yeah,
telling me.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, always tell the streamer if something is off. Tell them.
Yeah, please,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, people always like correct something. They go, "I'm so sorry," and I'm like, "No, no, I'm glad you told me. I'm glad you
See,
told me."
I feel that as well. Like I could be watching, somebody that I really enjoy, and I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, like there's something about their, yeah, again, like let's say that they're maybe a bit too quiet. I want to tell them, but like I feel like I'm just like, oh,
Yeah,
I don't want to be like this kind of person. So, but it's like, yeah, you should just, there should be no shame, as long as you're not being mean about it.
yeah.
As long as you're like, what the fuck, like turn the fucking volume up or something. It's just like, hey dude, hey dude, not to bother you, but like, I think you can raise your volume a bit.
Hmm.
You're a bit low.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think. that that's all the questions that I have for you today. So, if there's anything else that you would like to say, or anything that you want to promote, or anything else that you want to mention before we finish up, then please self promo time. The stage is yours.
Okay, so Twitch. I primarily stream on Twitch. I stream usually on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The times may vary. Sometimes when it comes to Tuesday, maybe I stream, maybe I don't, but that's where you can usually catch me. Uh, YouTube. Uh, Again, all these are just my name, Ross Argyll VT. Um, I post a lot of shorts there. I try to post shorts every 3, 4 days. I think they're funny sometimes. Sometimes a lot of it is just silly moments. But yeah, I'm usually active on there. Sometimes I do reacts. Twitter, um, Twitter is a hellscape, but if you like cars, sometimes I share car news and stuff like that. So if that interests you, then feel free to come over. And I think that's all the promoting. Also, follow Cully.
No, no. We're here for Ross. Thank
No
you, though.
problem.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, all of Ross's links will be in the description as always, and I'll see you guys next week for the next Oshi. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.